Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Fany for Manajemen Class 1D with name 64240186. This is my project 2 of English language. This is presentation about adverb of frequency. Definition. Adverb of frequency is a word or person that states how often an activity is done by someone. Parses that we will find in adverb of frequency include daily, weekly, monthly, often, rarely, and so on. Adverb of frequency is basically divided into two types based on the time specification, namely adverb of definite frequency and adverb of indefinite frequency. Adverb of definite frequency. The correct use of adverb of definite frequency is to pay attention to the frequency of an event of occurrence with a specific time. This time description must have explained when the event often occurs. First, every. Definite frequency uses the word every to indicate a regular pattern that occurs at fixed time interval. Examples are every day, every hour, every week, every month, and every year. For example, she calls her mom every day. The bus arrives every hour. My mother wakes me up every morning to have breakfast. Every 5 minutes, his alarm rings. I and my family go to the zoo every week to see favorite animal. Number frequency. Adverb of numerical frequency such as once, twice, 3 times, and so on. These words provide specific information about the number of times an event occurs in a certain period of time. For example, they meet for lunch once a week. He exercises twice a month. We hold meetings 3 times a year. I drink the medicine 3 times every day. Next, frequency-specific time. To describe a more specific frequency on a regular basis, there are adverbs of frequency such as hourly, daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly or annually. For example, hourly, once every hour. Bus to London run hourly. Daily, every day. Is the museum open daily? Weekly, once a week or every week. The letters are delivered weekly, monthly, once a month. Employees are paid monthly, yearly, once a year or every year. You can pay the mortgage yearly. Okay, next, adverb of indefinite frequency. Indefinite frequency adverbs get a general idea of how often an action occurs without specifying a specific time. However, in general, this time of frequency adverb can be estimated through percentage like this image. 100% is always. 90% is usually. 80% frequently. 70% often. 50% sometimes. 30% occasionally. 10% seldom. 5% rarely. And 0% is never. First, 100%. Adverbs that fall into this category inside the activity that is done every time without exception. The time description includes always, every time, and constantly. For example, she always arrives on time. I always brush my teeth before I go to bed. He always studies so hard in English courses. He wants to be a winner of spelling bee competition. He always gives flowers to Mariska. 2. 90% to 70%. If an action or activity happens most of the time, but not always, then use the adverbs usually, often, normally, frequently, and regularly. For example, we usually have a dinner at 7 p.m. We often miss the English class. She frequently goes to the park. I normally eat 2 plates of rice when I have lunch. 3. 50% to 10%. In addition, there are adverbs that can show or convey activities that occur very frequently or even almost never. These include sometimes, occasionally, seldom, infrequently, rarely, and hardly ever. For example, I sometimes read before bed. We occasionally watch a movie together. She seldom eats fast food. They rarely make mistakes. He hardly ever gets sick. 4. 0%. Adverb in this category inside the event that never happened at all. Example words are never. For example, I never skip breakfast. I never count Bali. I never go out without money. She never gets a bad score on math. Dialogue using adverb of frequency. Cindy, how often do you practice your guitar? Anton, I usually practice twice a week, but I sometimes skip when I'm busy. Do you play any instruments? Cindy, I rarely play music, though I always enjoy listening to rock bands. Anton, I occasionally try learning new songs online. Cindy, that sounds interesting. You never get frustrated? Anton, well, I sometimes feel challenged, but I always keep trying. Next, conclusion. Adverb of definite frequency using the word daily or every day, weekly or every week, monthly or every month, annually or every year, hourly or every hour, once a week, twice a month, three times a year, every day, every other day. Adverb of indefinite frequency uses the word always, usually, frequently, often, sometimes, occasionally, seldom, rarely, hardly ever, and never. Thank you for your kind attention. I want to apologize if there I make mistakes. I hope you have a nice day. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.